Whether you agree or disagree with me, this was the best episode of them all. What's up, YouTubers of the world? MegaGeekMixer here to give you guys my review on this week's episode of Stargirl. And guys, all I can say is, what an episode. And just like I said at the beginning, best episode of them all. And I'm going to go so far and say this could have been the season finale. Even though it's not, it sure did feel like one. I mean, seriously, the family drama along with the teen drama shenanigans to the infiltrate the bad guys, fight the bad guys, it was all done beautifully. But also, when in the fact that this whole family drama with how it ran in through with all this episode and how it all seems to be coming together with how Courtney, Pat, and Barbara and Mike are going to be closer than ever. At least I'm hoping so. We can't really say for certain right now with this episode. All I just know is it led to some really interesting things here. And as much as I want to say that in general, we got to go ahead and break this down because so much to break down here. We got to start off in the fact that we start from where we left off. Barbara saw that cosmic staff blow up and then just go flat out. And that's where things just started going crazy here. But I love the chemistry between all three of these actors and how they played their roles. It was just great. It was phenomenal, probably you could say, because how Barbara was reacting was pretty much what you were expecting, and how it was going to be Pat who was going to explain. But Courtney, as we know, her impatient self and ignorant and impulsion and everything makes her make things even more crazy than they already are. Because when Barbara found out, Courtney's like, cat's out of the bag, caught red-handed, just go ahead, get straight to the point and everything. And that's where it made things be exactly how we were probably thinking it was going to be. Considering how, like, she kept interrupting Pat when Pat was trying to bring her into this slowly to better process it. But yeah, when it comes to shows that like this, between superhero shows that have the drama and everything, you know that's not going to happen and stuff. And of course, when after finally being told of everything, of no surprise, Barbara was mad and thinking it's all Pat's fault, when really, in the necessarily senses, no, it's not Pat's fault, because as we've all seen throughout the entire episode since episode 1, Courtney just went ahead and did it, didn't listen to Pat at all, no matter how many times Pat was trying to stop her. But hey, what can you do? Because like we've seen throughout the entire season, and then with this episode, like I said, impulsive, ignorant, that's Courtney, reckless and everything. So no need to be all racking your head around why you like this and stuff. But even if it wasn't necessarily Pat's fault, it is good of Pat to take responsibility, because whether he tried to stop her or not, in the end, still is the one still in a sense responsible. Whether it was directly or indirectly or not, still responsible. So I love Pat for that and being able to take the responsibility. And yeah, like I said, Barbara didn't like it that she kicked him out of the house. Then that's pretty much sort of that thing that happens between married couples. A big major secret is revealed that they're in the moment right now where you gotta stay away from each other. Does that mean you're getting a divorce or not? No one knows for certain. You're just needing that time to stay away from each other, like sleep on the couch or go to your uncle's house or something like that. That's basically what that is. However, though, I also like the fact that with the whole family drama thing, it led into this spot of, for one, Pat and Mike having some father-son moment there, because we haven't really gotten to see that much between those two, and I like to hope they'll make that up in season 2. And I definitely liked how when Mike was realizing that there's been way more going on here than meets the eye. Of course, he's already been knowing that, but this time it's to a point where I'm sure we're all agreeing that Courtney, just forget it, the jig is up, just tell him everything. But at that moment in time, she just couldn't. But in her defense, she was kind of dealing with a lot right now. Her mother wanting them to pack things up and leave Blue Valley, the cosmic staff going out on its own, and I'm going to get to that here in a minute, that you can understand why she couldn't really tell him at that moment and stuff. Unfortunately, though, because of that, it's leaving Mike thinking something else that's not really true. And that's the thing. thinking that Courtney just doesn't want them in her life and stuff, which we all know isn't true. But hopefully she'll make amends with that later on down the line. But yeah, also, another thing I should mention here is that this really gave us the vulnerability of Courtney and how, like, her whole issue with her father having been gone and everything has really affected her in a way. Now, I'm sure most of us all have been in agreement that Starman's not her father and stuff, and because Courtney was the only one who came to that conclusion and stuff. And I'm pretty sure we all pretty much knew that she's come to that conclusion because that gap of her father not being there in her life really left a big gap in her, that she just wants something to close that gap so she can move on with her life. And yes, Barbara sensed that too, because in this episode, she actually emailed her ex-husband, Courtney's father, Sam, and he did reply back near the end of the episode. So eventually, we're going to see him. I believe that's in episode 11 we're about to see him, where he's going to come in, and this will finally put in closure for Courtney. Now, as for the whole locket of the picture, who's on it and stuff, and looking like Starman, I'm thinking that's a little similarity to something that's going on in the real world. And that's in the fact that while we find people who look similar to us, I've even found someone like that myself out there, that they think we're related when we're actually not. That's what I think this is. A guy who looks like her father but isn't really her father and stuff. Or maybe is, maybe a twin, who knows, but I really can't wait to see what they do in that direction later on. But now that I've said all that, we gotta move on into other stuff, such as in the fact that with Henry, who he has this time to spend time with his father, because at the beginning, well, his father's lost his memory, 10 years of it to be exact. And this is where it finally gives us more info on Brainwave's wife and Brainwave Jr.'s mother here. And that is in the fact that from what it was talked about at first, it was sounding like she was killed by the ISA, much less Icicle. But when Henry heard about this, after sharing with his father he has his same powers, he went back to his father's house, looked at one of those tapes, and one of those tapes mentioned about how Brainwave's wife was dead, and her name was Mary. But the twist here was not just he married to her, but Mary was the sister of Starman. Yes, guys, Starman. Could you have seen that coming? I know I did. When I saw that, I was like, dun dun dun. Because, wow, unbelievable. I didn't really know where to go with that. But then things got even more crazier when we found out that while she was dead, and that video we were seeing, it was making it sound like Icicle had killed her. But if you actually looked into it more, because this probably would be the first conclusion you come to, but when I was watching that, at first, yes, I came to that, but then as I thought back to more of what he said, I was like, what if it wasn't just Icicle? What if it was also Brainwave? Like in some way it was a direct and an indirect thing. And yeah, it was just not in the way I thought of at first. And wait till you see when I get to it here. But basically, after finding that out, he tried to warn his father about Icicle Man. But unfortunately, Icicle Man, after finding out Brainwave was alive, came back and got him and sent him down to the hideout to get his memory back. But before doing that, they ended up taking a hostage with them. That being the Cosmic Staff. Yes, guys. Now, first off, for some of y'all who have been watching it and stuff, or some of y'all who are just beginning to watch it, yes, remember this, that the Cosmic Staff is a living thing, and it's pretty much shown that it's got a mind of its own, as sometimes it's struggling and debating with Courtney here. But in this episode, it tried to get Courtney to go out with him so they can find Icicle Man. It's almost like the staff sensed that Icicle was nearby, and he went out on his own since Courtney wasn't going to go out. And it's been shown that the staff is pretty much like Courtney, very reckless and impulsive and everything, but that's because he eagerly wants to get revenge for what the ISA did to Starman and the JSA. Because Pat even showed it himself when he tried to get him not to make Courtney be so reckless, considering how young she is and that she could lose her life and stuff. But either way, when it tried to actually fight those two, I was really like, seriously? You're really trying to fight these guys on your own? Nuts. But that's where things got into where the final battle came. First, Henry, having seen this, went to tell Courtney about it, and also letting her finding out that Mary was Starman's sister. So she thinks that Henry and her are cousins and all. But after Henry informs Courtney, they go to the other JSA members, and no surprise with that, what happened with Yolanda and Henry. Of course, she's objectively against it. Rick, with his anger issues, completely against it and all that. Beth is just like, I say we try something. But because she just really doesn't know what to believe here. But all that teen shenanigans and drama and stuff, you get the whole idea here. Even like Yolanda was saying, she and Courtney are no longer friends, but that's just because she's not understanding the full story of things and still holding that grudge. Which is you can't blame her, but still, you get the full drift of it. And knowing that since the cosmic staff has been captured and stuff, they decide to go into costume and go and rescue supposedly Brainwave and the cosmic staff. But man, were they in for it. Now, they went into that tunnel where they found it and Cindy's place, and yeah, they ended up having a showdown with Dragon King and his henchmen, but that's where the fun really began, and what really led into the showdown that feels like it could have been the season finale. But the mere fact that it's not makes me wonder what the real season finale is. All the action in that scene was just unbelievable. From Brainwave Jr. with his telekinesis to Yolanda using the cat suit to its full potential from what it seems, because we saw her do some things she hasn't really gotten a chance to do, such as leap and crawl around like a cat, and the way she's fighting and stuff, which is no surprise. We already know she's a fighter. Same with Stargirl. Her fighting scenes with Dragon King, really amazing. I loved it all. And then the scene where her and Yolanda finally get to look at Dragon King's face. If y'all saw that in the trailer for Stargirl when it was coming out, y'all know what I'm talking about. The face, them getting freaked out by it, hilarious stuff. I loved it all. And while those guys were doing that, Rick and Beth ended up finding Solomon Grundy. And like I said, Rick, with his anger, always getting the better of him, was about to try to open that door and fight Grundy himself, which would have been bad, because then they would have died. Because, yeah, we're talking about Solomon Grundy here. They have no idea how powerful Solomon Grundy is here. But luckily, circumstances forced Rick to realize that he can't do this. And by the way, I'm sure some of y'all have noticed it too, but I kind of ship this whole Beth and Rick thing, because they're kind of teasing that, and they're balanced out well together, so I kind of am seeing that, and I do ship it, so props off if it happens, which I do hope it does. But then finally, it came into a conclusion here when, alas, we get the showdown between father and son, as Henry tried to persuade his father to come with him and stuff, especially since he believes that deep down he's good because of his mother, Brainwave's wife. But then this is where the conclusion came, where yes, it was a direct and indirect result of Mary dying. But I thought it was Icicle who was the direct and Brainwave was the indirect. But nope, it turns out the opposite way. From what it sounded like, it was Icicle the indirect, Brainwave the direct. Almost like Icicle gave him an ultimatum, like you're in or you're out. And well, Brainwave chose in and chose to kill his own wife. Oh my God. Wow. I felt sorry for Henry for that, and I just was like, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry your father's just cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. That's all I gotta say on that end. But at least it gave him Henry the conclusion that, yeah, he's not going to be anything like his father, and he's going to choose a better path. This is where he made a great sacrifice for all of the current JSA members by fighting his father, not wanting to be anything like him, and making them all escape through the other side of the cage while he stalled his father. And this is where it led into what it looks like him sacrificing his life to where Henry is now dead. But I don't think he's dead yet, because the way his character's been worked in just doesn't feel like he's dead. I would like to think he made a telekinetic barrier for himself to not make the rumble fall on him and stuff. And especially since the episode end with him under that rumble and we don't really know for certain, and even the team still being there, only makes you even more speculating that he's not dead yet. Well, guess we'll find out soon enough here, because it's also looking like Icicle's gonna find out more about Barbara soon enough as well, and in the fact that Courtney is Stargirl, because during her time at work, she got a visit from Jordan and his parents, and while they were speaking in their foreign language, she recorded it to find out what they were saying. And now Pat knows more than ever there's some device out there the ISA is trying to do, and well, all he can do now is just hurry and figure it out so he can stop them. And yeah, well, that's the episode, guys. And man, like I said, what an episode. I really didn't even know how to contain myself. It was just had me at the edge of my seat the entire time, knowing all of this stuff. But you know what? I'm going to just forget it now. I'll leave it at that. And if you're enjoying my videos, all you got to do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified when I make more videos. And until then, MegaGeekMixer signing out. Bye!